Well, hello, my long lost loves. How the heck are ya? It has been a while, and I miss you guys. So I thought I'd ease us back in to a little NLA style pick-a-card. And so what I need you to do is see which of the two postcards in front of you is calling your name. Which of these two postcards, the one on the left will be the first one that I'll go through, and then the one on the right, obviously, is going to be the second one. So which of these postcards will deliver you the guidance and the advice from your A-team, from the universe, from Source, in order to help you along your healing journey? I'll give you a minute, and then we'll get started. Alright, so for those of you who chose the first postcard, I want to just please ask that if you find any part of this reading helpful, or perhaps think it could be helpful for a friend, that you like, share, and even subscribe. Yep, it's probably annoying to hear everybody on YouTube asking you to do that, but the reality is that you and only you have the power to propel this video to the top of the suggested list, and that greatly increases those chances of reaching others who need to hear this message just like you and I. Just like a fire needs flame, baby. Be the flame for me. Be the flame. So let's get started. This first postcard here says, "Dearest you, miracles never run out. Look back over your life and you will see so many moments of synchronicity when all the right people, the right place, the right opportunities, and the right time just showed up without any of your help. Think back to how you felt just before a miracle happened. You felt you were giving up, but it was more like a gentle surrender to whatever was about to happen. We want you to know that miracles are being concocted for you, and they never, ever run out. You just don't get to choose how they come, who will deliver them, when they will show up, what they will do for you. All of that is our department. Spirit knows what is best for you and what wants to be expressed through you. You are incredible and amazing, and you are a magnet for miracles. That would be a good mantra for you today. We're on it. Relax. If you only knew how much you were loved. Sigh." So I will set this up here, and then let's get started on the rest of the cards. So let's start with the Page of Swords. As many of you know, and for those of you who don't, I do not always go by the generic interpretation of the tarot. And that's why I absolutely love the illustrations in this deck. Do you see how he or she is clouding their own view? It's almost as if they don't want to see their reality. And quite frankly, they're ready to cut a bitch if they sneak up out of that fog or smoke or whatever it is and be seen. So what is it that you are so dedicated to keeping hidden behind the smoke? What are you avoiding or afraid of dealing with? There's blue and yellow in this card. And those are the colors that stick out to me anyhow. And it makes me wonder if perhaps you feel like you're the guardsman guarding some story from your past, possibly something that you feel pretty insecure about or have a lack of self-worth or self-esteem about. And that it's definitely something that nobody shall speak of, because it kind of triggers that grab my sword reaction. We'll move on to Spirit Keeper of the East. This card says it's time to release the past. No matter what has been your truth in the past, it doesn't have to carry over into your future. It's time to start walking down that new path. The East is like the springtime. It's when we plant our seeds. And yeah, it's hard or scary to step out of the norm or retire our worn out routine, but it is so necessary in order to close out the old, because there's a new story just waiting to come in. Here's a little analogy for you. It's like buying makeup. And this is a crazy analogy because I have worn makeup maybe like 3 times in the past year. However, that's what we're going to go with. So it's like buying makeup. If you have only ever bought your makeup, let's just say at Dollar General, at the dollar store, chances are you're probably settling because there's such a limited selection. But if you were only willing to perhaps step out of the norm and take a stroll through Sephora, you'd be like, holy fuck, are you kidding me? Like, there's more than like 3 shades of foundation that doesn't stay on and kind of looks like it's caked on, like Hello 1994 makeup. Like, when did all this shit come about? And so you can't keep closing off all of those opportunities that are waiting to come in. Let's shimmy on over to our surrender card. Surrender, low self-esteem. Well, hello darkness, my old friend. We were just talking about you a few minutes ago. Pretending that an insecurity about your self-worth doesn't exist works out about as well as good gravy. It doesn't take long for my old analogies to come back. So, pretending that an insecurity about our self-worth doesn't exist works out as well as pretending that we didn't shit our pants. Because eventually, that stank is gonna seep out, and others are gonna smell it, and quite honestly, it's gonna itch when it dries. So even though it's not fun, you're gonna have to clean it up eventually. You might as well start now, sooner than later. That card says, you deserve success, love, and abundance. Set an intention to identify and release any remnants of low self-esteem. Again, with the yellows and the oranges. A lot of solar plexus and sacral chakra coming in here. Kind of the same as the label portion of the next card, which is good fortune. It says invite magic in. This card, again with the yellow at the base or the foundation of the card. This card says you deserve your heart's desires. So allow yourself to feel good now. Not later, but now. It's kind of like, if you look at the card, I don't know how well you can see it, but if you look at the card, it's kind of like she's a little bit timid or fearful of what might be around that corner or behind her. And so she's kind of hiding behind her wing, and she carries her flame or her torch close to her as she ponders whether or not she's going to move forward. And at the very top of that card, there is a beautiful castle. And that's where those stairs that she's on, that's where they lead to. But she is never going to fucking get there if she doesn't stop worrying about what's behind her. We go through everything that we go through for a reason. Even the shittiest things. But it's when you can see and when you can feel how much you've grown and how strong you've become because of those less than stellar circumstances. It's then that you can rest assured you are on your way to healing. And you should be proud of that. Let's move down to the seed. I am so excited. These last two cards on the bottom are two of my new oracle decks that I got. And it's the archetypes and the white light oracle. And oh Lord, I'm loving them. So we have the seed. This is all about beginnings. And for any of you who like a little numerology in your life, this is card number 66. Think of any story about birth or the process that it takes for something to grow and to be born. And we'll go with a baby for this example. No matter how many friends you've had, that have had babies, no matter how many babies you've had, no matter how many videos you've watched on YouTube. No two are alike. Some couples experience years of heartbreak, trial and tribulations, procedures, medicines, etc., to ever become pregnant. And others are never able to conceive, and they choose to adopt or have a surrogate. There's others who, right out of the gate, know that they want to adopt. And then there's also those who have the surprise, you're pregnant. And it's the same for the adoption story. No two adoption stories are alike. No two deliveries are alike. Some are long, painful, result in C-section, while others seem to fucking sneeze and boom. No pain, they're in their pants that they were wearing before they were preggers, like when they're leaving the hospital and you're like, what in the hell? How does this all play out? I am so happy for them. Really. I am so happy for them. And if being happy for them could, have made me be one of those, that would be even better. But hey, it wasn't. So, that's what the seed is all about. Don't compare your story. Don't compare your journey to anybody else's. It's your new beginning. It's okay if it takes longer. It's okay if it seems effortless. Embrace it. And the last is, I haven't looked up the pronunciation on this, but we're going to call it the Bastet, because I don't know. So Bastet of 174 hertz. Love the imagery on this card as well. So this card is, simply put, the slow down and smell the roses card. And it's funny because I have a sign or a decoration thing that I bought a few years back when I was in the dark, tumultuous beginning stages of this dark night of the soul journey that I was on. And it says, slow down. Happiness is trying to catch you. And I bought it because I needed that reminder. Because I was the type, and still am to a certain extent, who makes themselves very busy. Sometimes too busy. Because subconsciously, when we're stagnant or we slow down a little, there's a chance that we would have the time to acknowledge, and then we would have to heal whatever wounds and trauma that we've been avoiding, that we've been pretending aren't there. And until you're really ready, until something clicks and you're committed, it can be terrifying to look at those things. But despite that, it's necessary. And we need to slow down. And we need to heal those wounds. Because they're just going to continue to plague us. They're going to be that little nagging voice, that little sneaky one that sneaks up out of nowhere and you're like, holy shit, I haven't seen them in a long time. It's necessary. I really hope that you guys are doing amazing And I really hope that these cards and this reading have offered you some insight and some encouragement and some love to keep pushing forward. Take it at your own pace, as long as you aren't moving backwards or sitting like a bump on a log. You're doing all right. All right, next up will be the second postcard. So much love to you guys. Bye-bye. All right, for those of you who chose the second postcard, before we get started, I know it's annoying, but I do want to ask that if you find anything helpful, any words of advice, anything that resonates with you, or perhaps that you believe a friend or family member could benefit from, I just ask that you like and share and subscribe, because in reality, it's you and only you who have the power to propel this video to the top of the suggested list. And that greatly increases the chances of reaching others like you and I who really need to hear this message. So I appreciate that. Now that that's out of the way, let's read the postcard. The postcard says, and it is this one, just in case you wanted to make sure here. It says, "Dearest you, a rigid tree branch breaks under strong winds, yet flexible seaweed survives powerful ocean swells. Right now, we gently remind you that being flexible is a good choice when faced with life's challenges. Surrender your fixed ideas to Spirit, who knows what is in your highest good and can deliver to you what you need in the appropriate form. In this moment, rather than fighting or being too sure of your way, working out, be a little looser and allow for another outcome. Compromise can be the best way forward if you are to learn new ways of doing and seeing. Stay aware, curious, and teachable. Take life on life's terms. Your purpose may push you in a direction not on your map. Let it. Be so flexible that no storm can uproot you. In the end, you will still be rooted in the world, in abundance, and you will indeed experience the beauty that is yours. We love you so much." So I will just set that little guy right up there. And then we'll go ahead and start with the Six of Swords. Get your motor running, head out on the highway. Alright, well, I haven't been around for a while, so I thought I'd throw that in there. But it's time for some movement. And positive movement. Either mentally, physically, or emotionally. Realistically, that little piece of wood there with all those swords stuck in it probably wouldn't fare too well. But looking at the picture, they are as proud and as confident as they possibly can be. Stand tall and let your cape fly. It's okay if you are not sure if you're gonna make it or where the hell you're even going. But stand tall and trust that all will work out just as it's meant to. Just like that postcard said, everything works out. It might not look like you had in mind, that picture that you had in mind, but you're still going to be blessed. You're still going to find a benefit. You're still going to be continuing on your journey. It just might not be quite as, you had in mind. Another little thing with this is you have to really convince yourself sometimes to continue to stand tall, because it's a lot easier sometimes to crumble under the amount of anxiety that you have or the fear. It's time to change up your scenery and stand tall while you do it. The next one we will go to is the surrender to inner peace. I apologize, I flipped the nature spirits and the surrender card around, but the surrender to inner peace. Again, realistically, people don't fly, so her flying off from a cliff or whatever she's departed from might not realistically fare well. But she is trusting that all will work out as it's meant to. This card says to cultivate inner peace on a daily basis in quiet, meditative moments. Focus on the stillness within and enjoy this inner refuge. Others will feel your good vibes, and your life will flow more easily. Sometimes we get so focused on things that we forget how important our needs are, and that it's very, very healthy to have needs, to have wants, to have desires. We need to take the time for us. Take that time in solitude to find that mental clarity. Otherwise, we end up 5 years down the road and we stand in front of a mirror and we have a stranger looking back at us. It's so easy to casually fill more and more roles, to wear more hats. And you might be great at it, but there's always that chance that we can lose ourselves amidst that role playing that we do. Let's look at the Nature Spirits card. Nature Spirits. This card. I love this card. I love the imagery. This is still one of my favorite decks. It is the Native Spirit deck. This card says, welcome to a wellspring of joy and magic. Relax. All is well. Live free and be open to the wonders of the universe flowing into your life. I mean, really, we have had every single freaking card emphasizing that very message. It's such a common theme. And it's when we release the resistance that we stop trying to force or control things. And it's then that life becomes so much more relaxing and enjoyable. And many of the things that we're trying so hard to make happen before, it's like trying with all your might. And then all of a sudden it's like effortlessly, these things just keep happening. And that's just that confirmation that, hey, you've got this team on the other side. We're here to help. We got your six. We got your back. You just sit down and meditate a while. We got this. The card on the very right there is the 7 deadly sins. It says humanity's destructive traits. And these are the root of all destructive behavior according to this deck. And it says that they are laziness, overindulgence, lust, greed, extreme anger, envy, and arrogance. The 7 deadly sins are almost like writing out the description of a narcissist. And I think for many of us, we know just how unmotherfucking attractive a narcissist can be. So whether it's you or someone who's in your life, it is imperative to understand that all of the abundance of your future cannot reside in the same place as anyone who holds these traits. Listen to that list again. Laziness, overindulgence, lust, greed, extreme anger, envy, arrogance. Does any of that sound like I've never used whatever app it is, but like the swipe right, I think is the thumbs up, like a yes. Does any of that sound like swipe right material? Fuck no. And that unattractive individual doesn't get to go along on your journey. Nope. The next card is the Ocean. And this is card 35 for any of you who like numerology. And I absolutely love this card. So the bottom 2 cards here are part of the 2 new decks that I got. And it is the Archetypes and the White Light Oracle. And oh my Lanta, I love it. So this card uses an analogy of the ocean being like the subconscious or the unconscious. And it says that neither can we control or contain. Neither can we actually really grasp the full concept or know their contents in their entirety. We as humans cannot live in the ocean, nor can we live in our subconscious or unconscious state. The ocean has such a intimidating and extremely powerful presence. And even though it has the ability to cause serious harm, when that moonlight is shining across it and it's just glistening and it's so smooth, that is beautiful and serene and inspiring. And that magic is just the same for the subconscious. With time, the ocean has the power to carve rocks and create pearls. But it doesn't happen overnight. So let the waves crash. Let your old ego fall. And begin anew. Yet again. If you were in college and let's say you had to take an anatomy course and you passed it, flying colors, you got an A in the lab, and they're like, perfect. So yeah, you passed anatomy, we'll just say 101. And you're like, I think I'm gonna just do it again. They'd look at you like you're fucking nuts because you already passed it. And it's kind of like what I get from this reading is like, you've passed the test, you've learned your lesson. There's no need to keep retaking it, to relive it, to rehash it. Move on. There's anatomy 201. Let's start there. Let's move forward instead of staying where we are. And the last card that we have, Obadiah or Obadiah. And this card, oh my gosh, it is so beautiful. I love the artwork. But this card brings with it a beautiful message of not succumbing to the societal norms or turning away from your soul's purpose because maybe others won't accept it or understand the magic that's in it. It's kind of like going back to the Six of Swords. It's like, go forward confidently. Don't crumble under that pressure of the built-up anxiety. Don't be scared. Hike up those big girl or big boy panties and let's get going. You gotta believe in you. And you can be rebellious or the black sheep of the family or the wanderer, the traveler who travels all of these untraveled paths, right? He makes his own path. That's okay. As long as that means that you're being true to yourself, fuck yeah. Who cares? Be the black sheep. Maybe it's more fun than being, I don't know, it's like stereotypical Karen. I don't know. But I don't know why I'm getting this analogy, but this is what we're going to use. Have you ever had a pair of jeans or heels, like shoes, whatever, that you absolutely loved? However, they were maybe a bit too small, too snug, and you told yourself that it'd be totally fine because you love them so much, and so the big night comes and you get all dressed up and you wear the shoes or the pants and you're left either unable to breathe and you have like those deep grooves where those really cute jeans were about to sever your intestines, or perhaps you have a blister on every toe and the skin on the back of your heels is simply a memory. Have you ever had that? But it's not until like after you wear it and after you suffer that you're like, oh fuck yeah, this isn't gonna work. Never mind, just kidding. But it's like you just had to try it because you just couldn't quite let it go. You just couldn't quite accept that it's not meant for you, not your size. Sometimes there's another really, really cute pair of jeans, another fucking amazing, sexy pair of heels in the next aisle over. But if you just settle for those ones that don't quite fit right, you don't ever make it to the next aisle over. There's such a strong and empowering theme with this reading. And I genuinely hope that it is received in an uplifting, encouraging, inspiring way. There is no judgment, there is no condescending. I've been there. Some days I'm still there. But you know what? I'm really fucking proud of where I am. And I know in my heart, in my soul, how far I've come and what I've become, who I've become. I can look in the mirror and love the person that I see. Never in my life have I been able to do that before. So I don't need to compare my story to anybody else's, just like you don't need to compare yours. And yeah, it's scary. But just like all these cards say, let your courage, let your confidence be stronger, be more powerful than any fear or doubt that could ever try to hold things up. I really missed you guys, and I thank you so much for sticking around. So much love, and until the next time, bye-bye.